What if a single forbidden relationship is all that keeps your perfect family from falling apart? The story centers on a domineering and controlling mother named Lucia, obsessed with cleanliness, order, and how her family appears to others. Her husband Daniel is away from home most of the time due to endless business trips, preferring to ignore what's happening under his nose. They have three children. Their eldest son, Ezequiel, who went to study in Spain and is about to return home for his upcoming wedding, and younger siblings, Geronimo and Elena. However, Geronimo and Elena have long had a bond that's far from brotherly. Left without any real parental attention, these two have created their own deeply flawed and isolated world where the boundaries of what's acceptable have long been blurred. They spend all their free time together, sharing a bed and hiding their intimate relationship from the world. Geronimo is a withdrawn man completely absorbed in his sister, while Elena is an emotionally unstable woman who manipulates her brother's feelings. Lucia is so preoccupied with maintaining the facade of a perfect life and preparing for her eldest son's return that she stubbornly ignores any warning signs. For her, a tidy house and starched tablecloths are more important than her children's mental well being. But this familiar world begins to unravel when Ezekiel returns from Spain not alone but with his fiancée Monse. The arrival of Monse, a stranger to the family, becomes the catalyst for inevitable disaster. With fresh eyes, she notices an unhealthy, oppressive atmosphere in the house, and the relationship between Geronimo and Elena seems overly close and ambiguous. Elena becomes acutely jealous of her older brother's new love, realizing that their familiar family circle is being torn apart. Geronimo, in turn, senses the growing tension within the house. He tries to restrain his sister from reckless behavior, but their secret passion becomes increasingly destructive and obvious. Meanwhile, Lucia continues to pretend that everything is going according to plan, organizing dinner parties and celebrations, even though her husband Daniel increasingly withdraws from family affairs, escaping to his work. The atmosphere in the mansion grows tense, with each passing day turning into a veritable psychological trap for everyone involved. Monse tries to talk to Ezekiel about his brother and sister's peculiarities, but he, raised in a culture of silence, simply dismisses her suspicions. However, hiding the truth is impossible forever. One day, as wedding preparations reach their peak, Lucia accidentally witnesses something that leaves her in complete shock. She catches Geronimo and Elena in a moment that leaves no doubt about the nature of their affair. Her entire illusory world, built over years, collapses in an instant. However, instead of trying to understand the causes of the tragedy or seek help, Lucia makes a decision dictated by her greatest obsession, saving face in public at any cost. She decides to pretend nothing happened. The mother forces herself and her children to remain silent, pushing this terrible secret even deeper under the rug, hoping that after Ezekiel's wedding, everything will somehow resolve itself. But this forced denial of reality only worsens the situation. Geronimo begins to experience a profound sense of guilt and despair, realizing that their affair with his sister has completely shattered their lives. Elena, on the contrary, becomes even more aggressive and unpredictable, her psyche unable to withstand the pressure of secrecy and her mother's hypocrisy. The tension between brother and sister reaches a breaking point. Geronimo realizes they have reached a dead end with no civilized exit.
The finale of this story unfolds against the backdrop of an outward celebration that turns into a living nightmare. Lucia's attempt to play the role of a happy mother in public fails when her children's inner demons burst forth. Geronimo, unable to bear this absurdity and the weight of his own sin, commits an irreparable act that finally destroys the remains of this family. Elena is left alone with her madness and the realization of the loss of the only person who understood her. Daniel and Ezekiel find themselves facing the ruins of what they considered home.